Today is the 10th of January 2024, and this will be our 28th video on some possible questions. Okay, thank you everyone who has been watching these videos. Okay, I appreciate it a lot, and thank you to everyone who have subscribed. And please, if you haven't subscribed, can you consider subscribing, sharing and liking? Okay, when you finish watching the video and you like it, don't keep it to yourself, share it. Okay, and give us some nice comments. Follow us if it's not going to cost you anything. Okay, and if the account is not yours, can you consider asking permission from the account holder, or ask somebody to help you open your own account? Okay, in the comment section you normally see me write follow my notes / script. Okay, so for instance, this is 2 to the power 3. So if you hear 3 to the power 2, go by the notes. Okay, I'll appreciate that a lot. Beware of scammers. Okay, some of you know that, you even know more than I do. Just beware of scammers. I wouldn't come and ask you to donate money to an orphanage, a very sick relative, etc., whatever it is. So don't fall for it. If you've not heard it in the video, it's not coming from me. Because we are doing questions, most of these questions are from past papers, and their calculator from the calculator past papers. Okay, so watch the last video for recap. Our starter today, want to talk about cube and cube roots. I've done videos on this. Okay, so just go scroll down to the beginning, and it's there. You can find it. It's easy to see. We use square root a lot in maths. Okay, but at times your knowledge of cube roots can help you a lot. Okay, solve question faster. So I'm just going to do a starter and a warm-up on cube root. So if you have 2 times 2, it's 4. Okay, so we know that the square root of 4 is 2. But if you add a third 2, 2 times 2 times 2 becomes 8. Okay, so the cube root, this is the symbol. We did mathematical symbols, some mathematical symbols. So then the cube root of 8 is 2. Okay, that is 2 to the power 3 equals 8. Okay, so the cube root of 8 equals 2. Now 3 times 3 times 3 is equal to 27, and it's the same as 3 to the power 3. So the cube root of 27 is 3. 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64, which is 4 to the power 3. Okay, so the cube root of 64 equals 4. 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125, which is 5 to the power 3. Okay, so the cube root of 125, equals 5. Okay, so now you can use your calculator and continue to 10. 10 to the power 3. 10 times 10 is 100, times another 10 is 1000. So the cube root of 1000 will be 10. Okay, so help yourself. Use your calculator. Take a blank piece of paper and do this. Okay, today our exam our exam exam question has to do with box plots. Okay, I haven't done that with you yet, but I'll do videos on graphs, okay, for you to see. I've done some graphs, but we are going to dedicate some time just looking at the graphs, the cumulative curve, the cumulative frequency curve, box plots, all this, okay. And then as we solve questions, I will explain something to you. So for instance, we haven't done box plots, okay, but I can answer the question, and as I answer it, I explain some bits with you, okay, at the minute, because it's a good question. I don't want to let you go. This is from a higher paper, and it's from a calculator paper as well. Now consider the table of the marks of boys in year 11 class. Okay, so they've given you a table here in the exam. Okay, now the minimum is a 65. This is the marks they got maybe in their mock exams or maybe in a class assessment. So the minimum was 65, the maximum was 95, and then the lower quartile was 70. That is the first quartile. So maybe from 60 to 70. That was the first quarter of the pupil. That is the median, the middle mark, okay? And that is the upper quartile. The upper quartile is like from the lowest to the 75 mark, and then the maximum was 95. So this is how you read the table. Okay, this is what it means here. So the minimum mark, the lower quartile is the first 25% from the low mark. The median mark is the middle mark. The upper quartile is the first 75%, and the maximum mark is 95. Straightforward, okay. But we'll do videos on this. Okay, so represent this as a box plot on a graph. Okay, so they have given you this and they want you to represent it as a box plot on a graph. Okay, but before then, they gave you a graph, a box plot. The question came with a box plot. So even if you've not done it, you can look at what they've done. So this is the question. So they've given you a box plot. Okay, here, I'll show you. Okay, let me take this out of your way. So this is the box plot they've given you. Okay, they have labeled it from 60 to the 100 mark. Okay, so the one that they've given you here is the minimum is 60, lower quartile is 70, the median is 80, the upper quartile is 85, and then the maximum mark is 100. Okay, so in a class, so the question came with this box plot. So even if you've not done box plot, they have given you this as an example. Okay, so as long as you understand this with what I just said earlier, then you should be able to answer the question. Okay, so 60 is the minimum. Lower quartile is the first 25% from the minimum. 80 is the median. Upper quartile here is 85, which is the first 75% of the students. And then the highest, the maximum mark is 100%. Okay. Now they've given you a new table. Minimum 65, lower quartile 70, median 80, upper quartile 85, maximum 95. And they've asked you to put this on a box plot. Okay, so now that is my minimum 65 using the table. My lower quartile is 70. Okay, my median is 80. My upper quartile is 85. Okay, and the maximum mark is 95 here. 95 here. Okay, so I've answered the question. Okay, the question if you prepare even came with a grade. Okay, so and I think they gave you the scale. So all you have to do is to plot this on the box plot. Now look at it. The lower quartile, the median, and the upper quartile came like a box. Okay, the minimum, a straight line and a short line. You can put a cross or a short line. Okay, so you don't draw the box, you draw the box from the lower quartile through the median to the upper quartile. The minimum and the maximum, you have a straight line with a cross or just that to represent it. Okay, so take note of that. But we'll do a video on that. So now, the question they've asked you, that consider the table here, this table here. Okay, I've put it on the box plot, which is my box plot. B here, that is the B one. This one, the first one you were given. Okay, now let's continue with the question. 1/4, okay, 1/4 of the girls in the class scored 75 or less. Okay, so the minimum, that is the interquartile range, the lower quartile is 75. Okay, the interquartile range for the girls is the same as the boys. So if we look at what they've given us, the interquartile range is the upper quartile minus the lower quartile, which is 15. Okay, so if the interquartile range for the girls is the same as for the boys. Okay, then it means that 85 minus 70. Okay, because now 70 85 minus 70, which is 15, because your minimum is 60. Okay, and then your lower quartile is 75. Okay, so if the interquartile range for the boys is the same as the girls, the interquartile range for the boys is 15. Okay, 70 minus 85. So now this will be 75, add 15. So you are going to get 75 here. I hope you get what I mean. Okay. One quarter in the class scored 75 or less. The interquartile range for the girls is the same as for the boys. Okay, so for boys, the interquartile range is 85 minus 70, which is 15, which I guess is plain here from this table. 85 minus 70. And I've told you what the interquartile range is, the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. So represent this info using the box plot for the girls, and then you plot it on the grid. So one quarter of the girls in the class scored 75 or less. Okay, unlike the boys, one quarter scores 70. So because of the 75 for the girls, it's going to push your interquartile range up. So the lower quartile will go by 5, which will affect the upper quartile. Okay, so your first one is the minimum is 60 for the girls, because that's what we've been told in the question. Okay, our interquartile range is 15. So because it's 60 and then the first quartile is 75, if you add 15, which the boys also have, to the interquartile range, you are going to get 75. Add 15 will be 90. So the lower quartile will be 75, and then the upper quartile will be 90. Now the median is still 80. Okay, it's only the interquartile range that has changed. That is the middle mark. Now because the minimum, we are not told here, but we are told that one quarter of the girls in the class scored 75 or less. Okay, so the minimum is 60, the lower quartile is 75. I hope you understand what I'm saying to you this morning. So the interquartile range is the same as for girls. Okay, so 75 plus 15 will be 90. So 75 plus 15 will be 90. So interquartile, lower quartile is 75, upper quartile is 90. Okay, but the median for both girls and boys is 80, because that is what we are told. the middle mark. Okay. So 3/4 scored 75% or more. Okay, pushing the maximum marks for girls to 100. Okay, median is the same for boys and girls because they're in the same class. Okay, so let's look at what I did here. So with that explanation in mind, okay, this is the girls table now. The minimum for the boys that we did earlier is 65. Minimum for the girls is 60. Okay. The interquartile range for the boys and girls is 15. So 1/4 of the girls scored 75 or less. So this is our interquartile range. So the interquartile range, the lower quartile, so we add 15, which gets us to 90. The median is the same for boys and girls. Okay, so if the upper quartile is 90, now because we've pushed this in, the maximum marks for girls is 100. Okay, so now we are going to plot this on our box plot. So as I told you, the interquartile range is 75 for girls. The upper quartile is 90. The maximum mark is 100. Okay, the maximum and the minimum mark is not part of the box. So you have to draw a straight line, put a cross or a small bar here, and that will be our minimum mark. Okay, so this is what I want to show you today. Okay, so we have this box plot questions. So they've given you this one. We drew this one with the table they've given us here for the boys, and then the information they gave us in the third part, we use it to do for the girls. Okay, I hope you understand what I've said this morning, and I'm putting all the ones I've not done on a list, so with time I'm going to come back and do all this. Okay, but for the sake of pupils who are going to write their exams in few months, I think we should have a balance of doing questions and doing the topics as well, because you don't need with the box table box plot. Okay, you can easily understand, and then the question came with an example, so you can, even if you've not done it, you can leave it to the end, do the ones you've done in the paper, and then leave it to the end and go back so that you have enough time to just do it, and it's straightforward. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.